regulations of the state. But just a couple of weeks ago, and Governor Cuomo made it clear that live venues could not operate, including comedy clubs. James Dose is the owner of 3 Long Island clubs. He's joining us this morning along with Senator Phil Boyle to tell us about what they are doing to get the governor to listen to them and to get the word out, because they want people to laugh again. Senator and James, great to have you with us.
Good morning.
I mean, really, laughter is the best medicine during this time. We all know that, right, James?
Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. In these times we're in right now, laughter is definitely, I think, an essential.
Yeah. So tell me, you opened your doors thinking that you would just go along with the restaurants. So by the way, you own Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, the Brokerage in Bellmore, and McGuire's in Bohemia. So did they all 3 open?
Yes, we did for a short period of time, unknowingly that we shouldn't have been. And we were open for about an 8-week period. And we took a number of measures to keep everybody safe with some HEPA filters that we installed and UV lighting, and we plexiglassed in the stages so the comics have no interaction with the audience as far as a vapor or anything like that. But again, it wasn't unknowingly we opened. But once we got the call that it wasn't on the governor's list, we shut right down again.
So, Senator, what should the governor do?
Well, we're simply asking Governor Cuomo to allow comedy clubs to reopen. He's already reopened restaurants, bars, bowling alleys, gyms, even schools. And there's simply no reason why comedy clubs can't be reopened. I know in New York City that's not the case, but out on Long Island and other places, indoor dining is permitted. And a comedy club is basically a restaurant with a very funny person at one end of the place telling jokes. There's social distancing. People wear masks before they sit down. It would be safe, and we're asking the governor to allow them to reopen.
Why do you think he made the distinction, though, between restaurants and comedy clubs being a live venue? There are live people in the restaurants as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because Governor Cuomo has no sense of humor or because he doesn't want the comics telling jokes about him, but it simply doesn't make any sense. But I really think there's no reason that they can reopen safely, putting nobody at risk, and is still allowing us to laugh again in New York State, because in 2020 we definitely need to laugh.
James, tell us what kind of hit your employees have, well, you've taken clearly, but also your employees, your staff during this time.
Oh, it's a terrible time right now. It's a terrible time for everyone in any kind of business. But in the entertainment business, comedy business, music business, it's a real hit. It's a real hit as far as the employees, of course, are not working.
Did you let people go?
Well, we're trying to keep everybody on staff as best we can, but you know, it gets a little tricky in these trying times. But the comics need to get back on stage. You know, that's their lifeline. The audiences are their lifeline, and we're getting so many emails and so much feedback from the customers that they need the laughter. I never realized before in all the years that I have these clubs that the laughter is so essential to customers. They're craving it. They're asking for it. And again, I guess it goes along with that old saying, comedy and tragedy. And
right.
We could use laughter now.
Senator, I think that also a lot of people look at our legislators as sort of just not knowing what's going on during all this and kind of making it up as they go along. And that's where the confusion comes in, even with James' point of thinking, well, I'm like a restaurant, I should open. You know, I think that there are so many things that are not being defined during this moment.
One of the problems is that the legislature gave the governor emergency powers in the thick of the pandemic, which we should have, but now the governor will not give those emergency powers back. We've done what we were supposed to do, lowered the curve. It's very, very flat and very low in New York State, as we all know. But the majorities in the Senate and the Assembly refused to take the governor's powers back so he could make these unilateral decisions. If the legislature had the power, that we could reopen comedy clubs and other things safely, protecting everyone, but not making arbitrary decisions like he is making on a comedy club.
So I know that here in the city there are some of the comedy clubs that just decided to do things at parks and have people come. They didn't sell liquor because, James, I know you have a liquor license and you also are able to feed people. But is that even an option?
Well, I tell you, it's a release for the comics. It really is, and it's a release for the audiences because some people are going to the park shows just to get the laughter and to see live comedy, and the comics are trying out new material and stuff like that. It's hard to stop it. The comics got to get on stage, and audiences got to be there to listen. It's a funny thing how important comedy is. And like I said before, I never realized it in all these years, but going through this ordeal we're going through, comedy is so important.
Not to mention,
really
when you're having comedy al fresco, you're also kind of competing with airplanes and other extraneous noise, that's going on outside. In fact, I read where one comedy club owner left and went to Florida, picked up as if that's much better. You would never leave New York.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not for one thought at all. We have 3 clubs in Long Island, and they're very strong in the community. We do a lot of benefits, a lot of fundraising. The community, we're here for the community. And if the great governor just takes a look at this, I know he's very busy, he's leading us through a terrible ordeal right now, but if he took a look at this, possibly he would rethink it.
And is there an event today that's going on?
Yes, today we have senators going to be here for a rally. Anthony Rodia is basically going to put the ribbon on it. He's a very funny comic. He's been on the show a number of times. And yes, it'll be a nice rally today outside the club in Levittown.
What time is that?
I believe it's starting at 12:30.
Okay. All right. Well, Senator Phil Boyle, thank you for being with us. James, thank you for being with us as well. Good luck. Fingers crossed. We do need the levity right now. We truly do.
Thank you.
All right,
See you
guys.
later, Senator.
Thanks so much. All right, still ahead.